Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Blemmy, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a 35-year-old woman living with spastic diplegia cerebral palsy. This channel was intended for informational purposes only, and the opinions and views expressed in my video are mine and mine alone. Today I want to talk to you about perseverance. So without further ado, let's get started. Perseverance and patience are fundamental for anybody living with a physical disability. The level of perseverance and patience one must have with themselves is astronomical and can be very frustrating on a day-to-day basis. But let me tell you, it is so worth it. A lot of times when you're faced with a challenge, it certainly would be easier to just let someone else do it for you or to give up entirely. However, if you want to live a productive and fulfilled life with a disability, that just might not be your best option. Growing up at an early age, my mother instilled in me to work hard, to have perseverance and patience, and eventually things would get easier and I would be able to do things by myself. For example, one instance that really sticks out in my mind, I must have been about 4 or 5 years old, and I remember sitting on the kitchen floor and my mom was doing dishes, and I asked her for a cup of orange juice, and she looked at me and she pointed to the cupboard and she said, "There's the cupboard and there's the fridge, get it yourself." And I remember sitting on the floor just aghast that she would suggest that I could get juice for myself. I sat there and I cried and I cried and I bawled and I just said, "Mom, it would be so much easier if you could just do it for me." And it must have just been painful and torturous for her to watch me struggle and cry, but she did not relent. I sat there and cried until I realized that I was not getting juice until I did it myself. Eventually, I must have gotten the juice myself, and that day I learned a very important lesson that people aren't always just going to do things for me, that I'm going to have to do them for myself. Even if things are hard, even if it takes more than one try to get it right, it's up to me to make this life a good one. So with that being said, I have a little list of things that have taken me a long time to accomplish, but I am proud to say that after a little patience and a lot of perseverance and a lot of trial and error and failure, I have been able to accomplish these tasks to make my life a little bit more independent and a little bit more fulfilled each day. In no particular order, things that were very difficult for me and took a long time for me to accomplish or achieve was, number 1, cutting my own toenails and fingernails. Oh my goodness. I was terrified of moving out of my parents' home at the age of 18 because I did not have the dexterity in my fingers or the balance when you prop up your foot to cut your toenails. I couldn't do it. I'd never done it before myself. It was always something that my mother had taken care of for me. But I was moving out on my own, and manicures and pedicures are very expensive for a student, and that just wasn't an option. I practiced and practiced, and oh my goodness, my nails and my fingernails looked horrendous for a long time. Eventually, I figured out a way to cut my toenails by propping my foot up on the bathtub, fingernails clipper in hand, and I wobble like a weeble. And it takes me a good half an hour, 45 minutes to cut my toenails. But guess what? I can do it. And I don't need to ask anybody to cut my toenails for me, because let's face it, it's a little embarrassing to going and asking your partner or your mother when you're 35, "Hey, cut my toenails." No, I had to figure out how to do that myself. So that was my first one. that I'm very proud of. Number 2, putting my hair up in a bun or a ponytail. This one, whew, it still takes me a long time to this day. It's tricky because you have to hold your hair up, hold it in place, get the elastic, wrap it around, and then still make this part look half decent. And with the dexterity in your hands, it's hard. But after a lot of practice and a lot of trial and error, I don't think I did too badly. What do you think? Sticking with the hand dexterity theme, number 3, thing that took me a long time to accomplish or master, snaps or buttons on t-shirts and pants. Oh, wow. Even to this day, if things have a back button or a back snap, things that aren't in the front, forget about it. I just won't buy it. Too difficult, can't do it myself. But if it's in the front and the buttons and snaps are big enough, I can now unhook them and hook them myself. And that took a lot of time, a lot of frustration, and a lot of clothes bought that just weren't worn. Now I know my limitations there, so front, good, back snaps, bad. The women who watch this channel can probably relate to my number 4 thing that took me a long time to accomplish or achieve is putting on eyeliner. Eyeliner is one of those things where you need exact precision and fluid of motion. And let's face it, with spastic cerebral palsy, you're never gonna get that. It took me almost 21 years. Well, I guess not that long. I was 21 when I learned how to master my eyeliner. I don't think I did a very bad job today. What do you think? It's pretty straight. If it looks half straight, half decent, I will walk out of the house with it. How I accomplished this after many trial and errors, many different types of eyeliner used. I will stand in front of my mirror, prop my elbow up against the mirror, lean on the mirror, hold my elbow with my other hand, and guide my hand along with the eyeliner. Guys, it's hard, and some days the eyeliner is up to here and crooked and have spastic moments, but for the most part, I think I do a pretty good job with the eyeliner. I'm super proud with that one. So that was the next thing that took me a long time to accomplish. But with a little perseverance, I think I'm doing all right. Last but not least, the thing that took the most patience and perseverance and the thing I am most proud of accomplishing in my life was learning how to walk. Guys, the doctors in 1980, probably 88, 89 when I was diagnosed, told my parents that I would not accomplish anything, that I would not be able to walk, talk, read, write, feed myself. I'd basically be a vegetable. My mom was having none of that. She claims that she was in denial, and I'm glad that she was. It took me until I was 5 years old until I learned how to walk. And oh, wow, those first 5 years were a struggle. See, in my mind, I am as able-bodied as anybody else walking down the street. In my mind, I feel like I can do anything. But when it comes to executing it, and in reality, that's just not the case. So after my first hamstring surgery at the age of 5 years old, the doctors decided that I probably could start to learn to walk. And it took a lot of physiotherapy, a lot of crying, a lot of sleepless nights. I remember I had this Barbie quilt that had little patches on it. So one patch would be pink with a Barbie head and the next would be light pink, and it was kind of a checkered pattern, and it was a big quilt made for a bed. And my mom would spread that out on the living room floor, and I would practice walking from each square, from the Barbie head to the light pink and back and forth. And I would practice my balance and my steps. And that was one of the major ways that I learned how to walk. Another way that I learned how to walk that I am so grateful for is my Uncle John would create a walking station for me when I went to visit at their house. Their couches were on the shorter side, and he would line them up like this, and so that I'd have somewhere to hold on either side, and I could walk down the middle of them, and eventually I wouldn't have to hold on to either side. And I'm so grateful for that, because without my mom and without people like my Uncle John, there's no way I would have ever been able to learn to walk. And to me, that is the biggest achievement of my life, and one that did not come easily and took a lot of perseverance and a lot of trial and error. But still, it brings back such great memories of that moment when I took my first steps independently. I was just so proud of myself. So I guess the moral of this video is, if life gets you down, if there's some sort of obstacle in your way to achieve your dreams or your goals, even if it's just a small thing as simple as being able to pour your own glass of juice, don't give up, keep trying, know that you're going to fail, and know that it's going to be hard, and know that there's people on your side to cheer you on and that have had similar struggles as well. If you keep trying, if you keep persevering, eventually it will get easier, and I have no doubt that you can achieve your dreams or your goals, no matter how big, no matter how small. Just because you have a physical disability does not mean you can't achieve what you set out to achieve. If you like this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button with the notification bells on so you can get notifications every time I post a new video. And also down in the description box below, there will be information on how you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I, being old school, post more of my disability CP content on Twitter, so please consider following me there. I really want to get up to 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So once I hit 1,000 subscribers, for my first 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to be entered is subscribe to this channel and leave a comment on one of my videos. Thanks everybody for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye-bye.